What's also coincided with Riley Green's arrival is the Tigers' offense has actually finally arrived. It's taken the better part of almost 3 months now for Tigers' bats to heat up, but this past week, they're finally hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They're actually getting some hits with multiple games, double-digit hits, multiple players hitting multiple home runs. It is for a team desperate to score some runs. They were setting records. I've mentioned on this podcast before how they were on pace to be the lowest scoring team in history, in Major League history, which is impossible to think of. But I think that pace is no longer there because none other than Javy Báez has actually heated up, who I felt looked completely lost. The Tigers fans were seeing the absolute worst version of Javy Báez that exists through his first two and a half months of the season as a Tiger. It's unfortunate. I think he was, fell into the classic thing that a lot of big money free agents fall into. They put too much pressure on themselves and don't get off to a good start, and then it snowballs from there. When they don't get off to a good start, they put more pressure on themselves, and it's a never-ending cycle. But it appears that cycle has ended for Javy Báez as he's now on a 7-game hitting streak where he's had 3 home runs and multiple. I think he's had 4 games in a row where he's had 2 hits in the game. He was close to a cycle on Tuesday night. It was either Monday or Tuesday night. He got rid of the home run and the triple right away, but he couldn't come up with the double eventually. But it's good to see Javy looking like Javy again. It's very simple. Tigers broadcast has pointed it out. Even a novice like me, an amateur podcaster like me, can see what he's doing and what his problems were before and how he solved those. He's seeing the ball finally. That's what he was complaining about. He's seeing the ball because he's keeping his head on the ball. He's keeping his eye on the ball. He's not swinging while looking towards left field. You can actually see Jack Morris pointed out in one of the broadcasts where his head is on the ball at the bat. He's looking at the ball. He's also keeping his shoulder closed, his hip closed. It's simple mechanics that he just lets fail on him from time to time that was getting the best of him. You can literally see very easily what he's doing differently and why he's now not falling for the way outside, low and outside slider. He's spitting on those and waiting for it to come back in the zone or closer to the zone. So
I think,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think a lot of hitters too right now, because I watched Javy hit some pretty hard baseballs against the White Sox that completely died in the outfield.
Yeah.
And when the humidity, gets higher, we're going to leave the ballpark.
Yeah, so, we're definitely seeing offense spike in June as opposed to April and May across baseball.
Yeah,
so you're right there.
Yeah, which is what we talked about on this podcast. Mainly, I was clamoring about the fact that they're keeping all these balls in humidors now, and now that you take them out of the humidor and that's at 70 degrees, and the relative
70%,
humidity, and the relative humidity is up over 80 to 90%. That just makes the ball expand and it turns into a Super Ball basically. And
now that the humidities are equaling out, it's going to offense. So science,
what's going to
people.
happen is and what's going to happen is offense is spiking probably. I didn't look at it, but I'm going to assume it's going to be spiking at an alarming rate now.
Yeah, I mean the data has to roll in still, but yeah, I think we're watching games every day. We're seeing it. Just looking at the numbers, you can definitely see it. So it'll be interesting when you can have enough time pass to see how much different June is versus April and May. I think it's going to be startling.
Word Hole Media.